Alright guys, so last we left off, we're not getting the oil pressure that we need, and I think that oil pressure regulator is broken again. So we're going to pull this engine, I think, for the 5th time, and we'll undo that bolt from the bottom. Last time I tried to lift it up and it was just more difficult, cutting up my hands trying to get in there from the clamps and stuff. So this time we're just going to go ahead and pull the engine. Should be good at it by about now. And we'll check out that clip or that regulator, and I'll catch you up when we get to that regulator. Alright guys, here we go. Okay, so we got the spring and the doodad. Nut. There's that guy. He's in good shape. There's that guy, and he's in good shape. So, what? Was not expecting that. Maybe he's in too tight then? I was definitely expecting this guy to be broke. Alright, he looks fine. Alright, can you see through that? Is that what you're trying to do? But it's not clogged. This guy's fine. Our springs right here, they look fine. I can measure them. But we still had no pressure, so that was a lot of work for not being a problem. Alright guys, so how far up should this go before there's resistance? Alright, because I'm going right there and then I'm not going any further, which is, you know, not very far. Get the measuring tape, I guess. Hold on. Okay, so the spring and the cage are, what is that, 2.5 inches. And then if I take the spring and the cage and we shove it up, we're getting to about right here. So maybe 3 springs, 3 coils back. And if we take that back here, so we're going 2 inches up. But I know that that hole is much deeper. Now if I take this guy, which is just about 4 3/4 long, and I take him, I can get him all the way up to about right here, and he goes up 4.5. So why is this cap only going in about 2 inches if it's 4.5 inches deep? Is it messed up inside because of the rebuilt engine and having problems before, maybe getting scraped up, or is it not supposed to be that high? What is it? Okay, let's take my camera stick, and if we mark it off at 2 inches where we're getting stuck, it's going to be about right here, and we'll mark that with a pen. Okay, so we got that marked. So now I'm going to switch to the camera, which I don't think has any audio, and we'll see how deep that actually goes. And I'll move up to here and we'll see what we're hitting. Alright, so we're going into the hole here, and you can see this first part is real shiny, and up at the top, that is actually your overflow into the crankcase. And so when the piston comes down, the oil overflows in the crankcase. And this is what I was hitting before. This lip right here is where the outside case of the piston hits, and it holds it right here. And then all the way up in this hole is all the way into the oil pump itself. So the oil is coming down, and it goes into its slot there on the bottom where you can kind of see before the lip. And then if the pressure exceeds, it actually pushes that piston down and the oil falls into the crankcase. Okay, I wanted to show this morning as well. So we have the cage that goes up in there, and then we have the piston that goes up in there. And I'm going to show you some video, hopefully I can get from my little stick camera that goes up in the hole where this goes. And so the reason, I bet I probably broke this the first time I put it in, because this is sticks right here. It will not go in that hole. So that means when the regulator is in there, we have the piston, and then this piston moves up and down inside the cage against the springs. And then when the piston pushes down, the oil flows through here, and then on the left-hand side, or the PTO side of the engine, is the relief hole, if you will. It drops all the oil back into the crankcase. So the cage doesn't move, the piston does, and it moves freely up and down. I mean, there's no sticking here at all. They're both new, and there's not even any oil on it right now. So unless this somehow got stuck, this would have been fine. And I think an important part of this is maybe if the screw was not in 100% straight, you know, it could put a little bit of pressure on one side, which could cause this to maybe, you know, if it had some pressure on one side or the other, because it's not a perfect fit. But, well, I can't even get it to do it right now. I was having it stick a little bit, but there's enough play in here and it should be fine. For some reason, I think this was sticking. I don't know why. I really don't have any other reasons why the pressure would be low. I'm going to take the PTO off here in a second. All right, because I took out the oil filter and it didn't look bad. And I looked down inside here, there wasn't anything in the bottom of the oil filter. So underneath all of this is the oil pump. So we have our pressure regulator right here that goes up, and it goes up into here, right about where that oil pump is. And then we have the oil filter on top. And then we have the pump gear right here spinning. So I just don't see what it would be anything else except for this. But we're going to take, since we have the engine out, we're going to take the PTO off again, and we'll look and just double check on the pump, make sure it looks good, which I think it will. And then the only thing that I can think of that would be left over would be a clogged filter, which I don't believe, or this pressure regulator, which just seems like the most likely cause. Got stuck open again somehow. And there's no way to maybe do anything about that unless you take well, some people lift up the back of the engine, take out the mount screws on top and bottom and lift this up, but you still got to take out the drive shaft and everything else. And in my case, because we don't have this guy running well for any period of time really, just a few minutes, I just took out the whole engine again. So let's get to it. Take all these guys off, and I'll catch you up when we look at the oil pump. Okay, so here we go. PTO cover off. I'm a little curious. Okay, so we have the screen right here. There's a little debris, looks like a little bit of RTV in it. Oh, there's a little bit on this side. A little bit of gasket maybe there. Nothing that would cause the problem anyway. So that's just dirt. I do see maybe one little, is that a metal flake? Nope. Those are all just RTV or dirt. Some of it may look a little shiny, but there's nothing metal there. Okay, and then I wanted to look. So here is your hole. You can't see anything. So that comes straight from. So your pressure regulator hole comes straight from the pump. So get out a little bit. So we're just going right here. You can't see anything up in there from that hole. It's just down in there, and it goes straight into this pump right here. So let's take out the pump and see what it looks like. Okay, so still is there is a little bit there, but not enough that would cause a lack of pressure. So this is where we would, that shaft is connected over here to the coolant pump. And let's see, we can probably twist it. That moves fine. Let's see, I think we'll go out that way. I think it has to come out. It has to come out this way. So we'd have to unscrew this guy right here, which I had made a special tool for, with some screws that fit in those holes to unthread it, which we're not going to do again. But it moves freely and there's no obvious problems. This was a new piece and there is some, but there's a little piece right there. I can kind of feel a little scratch right there, but all the rest of this is just from this spinning right next to it. So I'm going to say this pump is fine, just like I expected it. Trying to wipe out some of this Loctite, those from those screws. So the pump is good. And I don't see any heavy damage on the other side. There's some original scoring on there, but it's still a very tight tolerance. Nothing that would cause 5 pounds of pressure versus 30. And keep in mind that this did provide 30 and 80 when I first replaced the regulator down here. So there certainly isn't any more damage than what I replaced initially. So now we'll put it all back together. I'm going to clean up the screen. We'll put that in there and we'll put it all back together and put it in, I guess. And there's nothing else to check. I did put a new oil filter in there. Oil pump is good. We got the pressure regulator. We'll put that in. Everything else should be fine. My best guess right now is that oil pressure regulator stuck for some reason, and we'll have to figure that out. All right, guys, so we're out here again. Engine's in. Everything's put back together. Oil, coolant, good. The biggest thing I say that was a difference, even though I didn't find anything wrong, was that when I put in the pressure regulator, it was pretty easy to get in. The last time when I first did it and replaced the broken one, I had to really compress that spring, and I was probably about this far out pushing that spring in, trying to get it in. And I wonder, because the engine was, you know, at an angle and mostly upside down, if that spring hadn't slid out a little bit and I was pushing it up against the side of the cage or the side of the piston. Now I was trying to find the old parts. Of course you can't find them when you want them. But, you know, more or less the spring would have been at an angle at that point, and so when the pressure came down, I could have lodged the piston inside the cage, and I'm wondering if that's what happened. So anyway, let's fire it up. Let's see what we can end up with here. And what we'll do is after we get started, we'll let it run for 5-10 minutes just under idle, and I got water hooked up. And then we'll give it some gas and see if we don't maintain our pressure. Sometimes this key does not work right. That's good, that's 30 right there, just warming up. That's the first time starting, so all that oil is making its way through all the chambers, getting warmed up. Alright, so we'll fire up a stopwatch. We'll come back in 10 minutes maybe. That's not good. What are we running on once? Lose a cylinder? Let's see. Let's give it a little bit, see what happens. My bad. I know what it is. I didn't ground out the oil pressure sensor to the negative, so I got to get my wire and connect it up. I think I said before, you don't have to have it. And when you're starting, you do. Otherwise, when you give it some gas, it'll go in a limp mode and then die. But if it comes disconnected after it's running, you'll just get an error 5023, I think. So let me go ground it out. Okay, now we're grounded out. I got it in the sensor right there, and then I got an alligator clip on the battery with the other half. Now we should be good. Got the water on. All right. Restart the stopwatch, 10 minutes. All right. 10 minutes. It's a little low. And that's too low. Should be up at 60. I don't know. What do you guys think? Time to part it out or just sell it as is or what? I'm thinking that's true. I'm gonna give it a minute and think. Alright, so just checking the oil, and I hooked up something wrong because we got water in our oil, or actually coolant, because the coolant's all gone. So this ends a little bit abruptly, but in this little screenshot I have here, I have it circled where the coolant flow goes back in, and I knew that gasket was missing, but I did not purchase a new whole gasket. I just used some RTV to fill it back in, and the RTV was a little bit old, so it wasn't super malleable, and when you're trying to put this PTO cover back on, the magnet sucks it in. And then you also have to try and get the pin for the Bendix / starter into the hole, and all these other dowels lined up. And then I had somebody come over and I was talking to them for a little bit, and I think the starter actually came out a little bit and I had to fight with that to get it back in. But long story short, it might have been 10-15 minutes and the RTV was not fresh. And what happened was that it already cured a little bit before I got the case all the way on and tightened down, and the coolant leaked. It did not seal real well here, and this hole is where the coolant goes back to the engine, and it just all went into the crankcase. So at this point, I'm not sure where I pick up on the next video, but I have to take the whole engine out again, the jet pump, the drive shaft, all that kind of good stuff, and take this part back over, or excuse me, back off, and replace the gasket and put everything back together. So we'll see where we pick up on the next video.